Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and good morning. The Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Deputy Prime Ministers, fellow Cabinet Ministers, Honourable Leader of Opposition and Members of Parliament. My ministerial statement today in this August House focuses on the update on current conditions and status of government school facilities and infrastructure in Viti Levu. But before I deliberate on the issue in detail, sir, please allow me to acknowledge the government ministries and organizations and individuals who contributed to the Ratu Latinara school's flood rehabilitation. Mr. Speaker, sir, due to the extensive damage faced by the schools, some of them have experienced it for the first time. They have been allowed an additional 2 weeks school holiday upon their request and the assessment made by the Ministry of Education team to allow them to clean up the school compound, including their staff quarters. This flood has unfortunately impacted 30 kindergarten students, 428 primary school students, and 293 secondary school students, with a total of 751 students. In addition, sir, out of the 27 staff quarters, 13 secondary teachers and 4 primary teacher quarters were severely affected, and most, if not all, the household items were also damaged. On this note, Mr. Speaker, sir, due to the extent of the damage to the school, the ministry is urgently working in organizing the support from the local authorities, government agencies, NGOs, and community organizations to facilitate the recovery process. The Ministry of Education will supply textbooks, water tanks, library books, and school stationeries to the school, be ready to open for term 2. The Ministry will also be providing psychological support, counseling, through the Substance Abuse and Advisory Council to the student, teachers, and stakeholders of the school. Sir, we acknowledge the hard work of the heads of school and his team, the school management committee, to have the school ready by 3rd of June to resume term 2. And we also acknowledge the involvement of the RFMF, the police force, and the National Fire Authority in joining the community with the cleanup and the restoration activities to foster a sense of ownership and resilience. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to continue to highlight in this August House the current status of facilities in government-owned schools. So, as you are aware, most of the government school facilities visited are in dire need of repairs, renovations, and maintenance. Some of them will be celebrating 100 years of existence in this year, 2024. The government, through its 2023 and 2024 budget, allocated 1.8 million for upgrade and maintenance of government school facilities, and 1 million towards upgrade and maintenance of government school quarters. Government school repairs and maintenance were unfortunately carried out in a more ad hoc way, as opposed to the periodic maintenance that used to be undertaken by the Public Works Department in the past. During the PWD days, the school infrastructures were well kept. There was a standard color code of all government school infrastructure because there was a standard maintenance plan in place. This is something that the coalition government values and embarks to bring back, so the standard of education facilities in all government schools are restored. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Ministry of Public Works, Transport and Meteorological Services, has conducted an assessment of all government school facilities. The scope of work has been prepared for all government school infrastructure, and we intend to overhaul all the ailing facilities. We as government must provide an environment conducive to learning and living, Mr. Speaker, sir. And the Ministry of Education is also grateful to the assistance of the Ministry of Finance for granting with us with a waiver of tender, so the works to be given to the Ministry of Works, Meteorological Services and Transport, or to other capable contractors. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, approval came a bit late, and we have missed the timeline given by the Ministry of Public Works. And in that case, I have instructed that we procure materials so that we can utilize the budget. The team have been requested to incur expenditures, and we expect to start with the procurement and upgrading works soon. And the ministry has arranged to have the school management maintenance team work with the Ministry of Public Works to carry out and monitor all the upgrading works. And in the meantime, some of the upgrade and maintenance work has been done, as we witnessed in some of our schools. Mr. Speaker, sir, the programs offered in all the government schools, and it is critical that all government schools must offer some standard form of academic and extracurricular activities. I encourage the head of school to provide the opportunity to expose their students to a variety of activities and not be restricted to the same traditional sports like rugby, netball, and athletics. We also want to bring back those academic competitions that once were done during the earlier times, like Shakespearean dramas, quizzes, and debates. These joint platforms, Mr. Speaker, sir, are opportunities to share best practices, teaching methodologies in STEM subjects, and networking amongst the head of government schools, teachers, and students. Mr. Speaker, sir, our government schools lack digital facilities and equipment, which has drastic impact on teaching and learning. For the boarding government schools, the students accessing internet for research to do English and technical projects in the upper secondary schools are always hindered. Accessing the latest science and engineering journals for pleasure reading in the library and improving internet connectivity. RKS has a limited connectivity, and so unfortunately that QS is at a blind spot. And the Board of Governors, head of schools and teachers are encouraged to work together and collectively improve digitization and at least have smart boards installed like we find in certain community and faith-based schools today. Currently, Mr. Speaker, sir, the school chaplains in government schools are being paid by the students through the Vagamissinari or PTA funding support. And without counselors in some of the government schools, the chaplains provide an important role in providing pastoral care and a listening ear with the spiritual advice much needed by our students today to curb the escalating indisciplinary cases. And this is an area for which we still need government funding. It has become public knowledge, Mr. Speaker, that agriculture is the backbone of any developing economy. And this was an avenue to discuss with the heads of school to think outside the box on the utilization of the land. The heads of school were reminded that they were just been given brand new farming tractors and encouraged to toil the land not only for the consumption, for the borders, but also to consider expansion for business ventures. Through this expansion, all government schools will earn money, and the students will also learn financial literacy skills through this venture. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will soon continue due diligence visit to other government schools outside Viti Levu, including faith-based and local community-owned schools in Taveuni Island, the Lau Group, Asawas, and other remote rural schools in the interior of Viti Levu and Viti Levu for the sole purpose of capacity building for teachers, head of school, and the school management committees to improve facilities, share practices to empower students for their future, and to have education facilities conducive to teaching and learning. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to inform this August House that the coalition government has already reset the wheel for the upgrading and maintenance work of all our government schools, so they restore the status of our government schools and the pride of our nation. The schools that every child in this country continue to compete to get enrolled in. We'll churn out the best scholars for leadership positions, empower students for their future, and to have education facilities conducive to learning. Mr. Speaker, sir, the above stated information on the current status of our government schools should be improved, as our schools are the haven for our students to learn, remain in schools, and be marketable in all walks of life when they leave the school gates at the end of their secondary and primary school journey. During the visit, Mr. Speaker, sir, a constant concern raised by teachers is in the salary level and bans that many states are depressing and demoralizing given the hard work of teaching and managing students. Factors that were raised included new teachers joining the profession, sharing the same salary level as those who've served for more than 15 years at the very least. Many have raised that the poor salary levels of teachers compared to the workload and stress they have to endure is leading many to resign and opt for lucrative job markets abroad, especially those in Australia, New Zealand, Dubai, where teachers have been scouted for job opportunities. And the ministry is urgently addressing these concerns raised, and policies have been looked at as we speak to allow for proper right sizing and right fitting into salary scales and grades to support and reward a progressive career accession plan. The major teacher unions will also be continued to be engaged to ensure we capture the proper details and structures that will ensure a sustainable retention and management for teachers, not only now, but also into the future. Mr. Speaker, sir, providing a conducive teacher working environment to manage and provide a safe, enjoyable learning experience for students is crucial. And a happy and well looked after teacher means a productive and highly dedicated teacher. With a high level of stress and challenges teachers today face in a growing environment of aggressive, misbehaving, and sometimes violent students, our teachers must have the proper incentives to remain teaching. And thus we accept the urgency of this issue that grapples us must be addressed. Thank you, and Vinasa Wale.